Hello and welcome to this week's Food for Thought. It's Mark Lockridge here, pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny, the Milford Reformed Presbyterian Church. It's great to have you with us. It's the lead up to St. Patrick's Day, and last week we started to look at Patrick and his enduring relevance for Ireland into the 21st century. We looked at his discovering of the God of the Bible, a God powerful and knowable and good. But what of us? One of the big questions of the 21st century is that of identity and purpose. Who am I? Why am I here? Surely someone from 1600 years ago can have little to teach us about this very modern question. Patrick indeed might find our question odd. It is a very modern one. But Patrick would also have the tools to help us answer it. Who am I? What was I made for? My name is Patrick. I was taken prisoner into captivity in Ireland. So reads the opening words of his confession, a mini-biography if you like. Think of it. This son of a nobleman went from riches to rags, from being a someone to being a no one, from family to windswept isolation. Great tumultuous events can turn our lives upside down. They can shake us to the very core of our being, causing us to question, who am I? What's the point of it all? Sometimes these great tumultuous events become our identity. Our identity becomes rooted in what has happened to us. Or sometimes we feel that our purpose has been stolen by these events or by those who hurt us. Even if nothing earth-shattering happens, we still want to know, who am I? Why am I here? Am I a nothingness on the wheels of time? A mere accident of existence? Or is there more to me than that? Imagine something so great that it could lift you out of the deepest trauma, or give what seems like the least significant life, that of a slave, a purpose. Imagine something so rich and powerful beyond measure, something that shifts your identity and purpose in life completely. Patrick, who had lost so much, found just that, something big enough to outweigh and transform all that had happened to him. He found that in actually knowing this powerful and good God as his own God and Saviour, that his identity was no longer wrapped up in the harm done to him, or in the things that he had lost. Instead, he found who he was truly meant to be. He found that his purpose in life wasn't stolen from him, but that he now had a purpose far beyond anything else. Listen to these rich and beautiful words penned by Patrick himself. I was like a stone lying deep in the mud. Then he who is powerful came, and in his mercy pulled me out, and lifted me up, and placed me on the very top of the wall. That is why I must shout aloud in return to the Lord for such great good deeds of his, here and now and forever, which the human mind cannot measure. That's what happened to Patrick over 1500 years ago. And Jesus Christ has been doing that for people in Ireland and across the world ever since. We live at a time when many are struggling to know who they are and why they're here. We've sought to anchor our sense of self in jobs, in relationships, in ambitions, in entertainment, in social media profiles, in our sexuality and more. But we've found them fragile and unfulfilling. And yet, like Patrick, when we turn from sipping this salt water to the life-giving, living waters of Jesus Christ, we find him who says, I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. That's Jesus in John chapter 10, verse 10. The purpose of life and the secret of identity isn't found in what we do. It's in who we know. And that's what Patrick found, or better, that's who Patrick found. And that changed everything. And that story can be your story too. Thanks for listening. You can find out more about the Patrick story, their videos and interviews, over at patrickstory.ie. And if you would like a special Patrick Story edition of Mark's Gospel, email me at mark@newlifefellowship.ie. Until next time here on Finn Valley FM, have a great week.